Most romance anime tend to ask one question: will they get together? Rent-A-Girlfriend seems to take this question to the extreme. We have watched over 400 chapters of will they won't they with Kazuya and Chizuru, maybe creating the most infamous relationship in anime history. What's even more frustrating about this is that it's not a story about two people who don't even like each other. It's two people who obviously love each other, and yet somehow this relationship moves at the fucking pacing of like a disabled turtle. This just doesn't work at all. So today we're going to be looking at a relationship that has psychologically damaged / traumatized maybe an entire generation of romance anime fans. First things first, if you have ever had the pleasure of not watching Rent-A-Girlfriend, not being traumatized, allow me to explain a basic kind of premise of what the story is about. So we have our protagonist, Kazuya Kinoshita, who is basically a bum, just a straight loser, who ends up renting a girlfriend in Chizuru, and then it's all just kind of just bullshit from there. Let's first start off this relationship critique by talking about one half of the relationship being Chizuru Mizuhara. One of the biggest reasons people hate this relationship isn't actually because of Kazuya, it's actually because of Chizuru, which I don't see a lot of because I see a lot of people just like shitting on Kazuya half the time, even though they've never read the manga or even watched the show. So I'm here to explain to you why I believe Chizuru also sucks. Early on, Chizuru's emotional distance from Kazuya is probably one of her best traits. She wants to focus on her acting career. She's had people die in her life. She wants to be independent. To me, all that makes sense on why she is emotionally distanced from Kazuya. The problem is that these challenges and these characteristics are supposed to be challenged and overcame, except that never really even happens. To me, a character flaw is only interesting if it's ever overcame or even brought up. In this series, 5+ seasons and 400+ chapters later, Chizuru still has not gotten over that emotionally distanced thing she's got going on here, and it's just kind of pissing people off. The frustrating part is that Kazuya isn't just some like random dude she met 2 weeks ago, you know what I'm saying, dude? Kazuya is a genuinely good guy, and Kazuya has helped Chizuru more times than you can count on your fingers, guys. And toes. Fingers and toes, imagine that. I mean, this is the same guy who has made a movie with her. The same guy who's like stood by her side for like the whole series. If there's anyone who deserves to see the real Chizuru, it's Kazuya, for sure, not even a debate, and yet Chizuru still doesn't open up to Kazuya whatsoever. And the issue isn't that Chizuru struggles with like vulnerability and stuff like that, right? It's that every time Chizuru takes a step forward, she ends up taking 2 steps backwards. So you're just resetting her process, and she's never really like earning or learning anything at all, really. I mean, seriously, come on. I want all of you to go back and reread Chizuru from chapter like 50 or whatever to chapter 400. Has she really changed? Has she become better? Sure. Has she become more fleshed out? Sure. Has she become able to communicate with Kazuya? Probably not. The fact that we're still asking these questions makes me really realize just how bad this relationship really is. But let's now talk about the other half of the relationship, that being Kazuya Kinoshita. For most of Rent-A-Girlfriend, I'd say Kazuya's biggest problem isn't Chizuru, isn't Mami, isn't Ruka. I'd actually say Kazuya's biggest problem is himself. The one thing that frustrates me about Kazuya is the fact that his self-confidence, no matter what he does, never seems to improve. The man crowdfunded a fucking movie for fucking sake, and it just like, he still just kind of treats Chizuru like she is just like way above him, and Kazuya is just like a bag of fucking dirt, basically. At some point in the manga, Kazuya's self-doubt stopped becoming relatable as a person and started becoming exhausting. it just needs to happen. Like, it needs to improve. Something has to happen. I don't know, but something fucking has to happen. What's also interesting about Kazuya is that he has good moments throughout the series. A lot of haters like to say that Kazuya is like the worst character ever created. I personally don't believe that. Kazuya has good moments. He takes initiative sometimes. It's just never consistent, literally ever. Every time Kazuya takes initiative or he grows as a character, the story ends up just taking a reverse and just ruins Kazuya's like growth he just went through, and he ends up just reverting back to himself again. Watching Kazuya develop, it's almost like if you were to build a sandcastle, but someone next to you were to just like destroy the sandcastle halfway, so you never complete the fucking sandcastle. I think the reason Kazuya frustrates me is because I've seen how capable of a person he actually is. We've seen him complete tasks. We've seen him be a good guy. We've seen him be mature. It's just that none of this like ever leads to any improvement at all, which makes it even more frustrating when the story just continues and continues to basically massacre his development and send him right back to square one. And that's what makes Kazuya and Chizuru such a uniquely frustrating couple. Chizuru refuses to let people find out who she actually is. Kazuya refuses to value himself as a fucking person. One refuses to take that final step forward. The other refuses to stop waiting. And the only ones who are actually even suffering here are the fans, unfortunately. But anyway, that is it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoy. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do whatever, you know what I'm saying? And comment down below what the fuck do you think is going on with Kazuya and Chizuru? I would like to know. I'd see all of you in the next video. Take care.